and their staff, because they're so well treated, takes care of the customer. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD podcast. Yes, talking about customer service. This is a 5-step process to make you, your staff, better at delivering amazing, high-end, memorable customer service. We have the closing thought of the episode. This is the Ultimate OD podcast. Here we go. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the messages, likes, follows. Continue to give us 5-star reviews. It helps us grow and be better. I'm not going to lie. I cannot believe that it's May. When you're listening to this, it's May. The year is almost half gone. Where are you in your goals? Are you getting to where you need to be? It's never too late to start. Just because it's not the beginning of the year doesn't mean you can't start something new. We like to do it at the beginning of the year and then goes about 2 weeks and then people are done, right? Well, start now. Whether you make it as June or July, May, I don't care what it is. If you want to accomplish something, make it happen in your mind and make it happen this year. We still have time to make some big waves, make some changes in our office to be better than we were when we started. Now, that being said, housekeeping, June, I think 20th, I think I'm going to be at AOA. So if you're going to be there, I'm pretty booked up. I'm going to get there Thursday morning, get out Friday morning. But it will be productive. I love going to meetings and just being away from the office, letting my mind reset, getting new ideas. So if you're going to be there, let me know. Maybe we'll be able to have a drink, meet up, have a bite of food, or just say hi. I love hearing from listeners. Now, that being said, today we are going to talk about customer service. Yes, customer service, one of my favorite topics. We haven't talked about it in a while, but I have noticed that my staff has ups and downs. There's some waves, good, bad, and I think it's time that we have this talk in the office. So, not going to lie to you. This conversation that I'm having with you right now is a conversation I'm going to have in 2 or 3 days when I talk to my staff. So 2 birds with 1 stone. Let me tell you guys, let me share this with you, and I'm also going to share this with them. So what you're hearing from me is the same stuff I tell my staff, tell my office to try to make us better. So I'm trying to make you better as well. Let's go. That being said, if I asked any one of you, any listener, if you think you're good at customer service, everyone's going to raise their hand. Yes, me, look at me, we're good at customer service. Have you ever heard of an office say that we don't value customer service? We're not good at customer service. Patient experience, who cares? Every single one of us thinks we are good. All right? What I like to say is, if a patient's 15 minutes late, how do you treat them? If a patient buys a pair of glasses and 2 weeks later says, hey, I don't like this frame and lenses that I picked, I want to return it, or I want to get a different pair, how do you act? Right? We're all good at customer service when it's going our way. When they come in, they're the simple myope, they get their refraction, they buy their year supply of contacts, and they want a pair of glasses. Yeah, we're great. But it's the problems that happen that define us as whether we're good or bad. Also, it's how you treat people. It's the experience. It's what you convey. It's your aura, right? I'll explain this a little bit more as we go on. But I just got back from BioTissue. So Procara, awesome. Amazing facility. And when I went, the experience was so great that I'm an advocate. I'm a believer. If I had a BioTissue shirt, be wearing it all over the place. I love what they do. There's a few companies that you get to interact with and you're like, that's what I want to be. I want to be like them. Honestly, how they've established themselves as a company, what their story is, their messaging, their goals, their vision, I'm buying into it. I love it. They want to naturally regenerate tissue, right? Your eyes, foot ulcers, you name it, arthritis. They want to let the body heal itself. as much as it possibly can. And when I went there, they went all out. I mean, they paid for my flight down there, had a driver to get me from the airport to the hotel, food, hotel, an amazing experience. They had people like that were there to educate us, inform us, but they wanted to make sure that we had a great experience. And I thought it was amazing, right? I'm more likely to do business with them because of what they represent, what they stand for. I want to be part of that mission. I always use Costco as another example of great customer service. Have you ever been in the machine that is Costco? Now, I'm not saying the people in Costco, like the customers, they're crazy and they're mean, right? The patients or the people actually in there that the staff is serving are not nice people for the most part. They bump you in the, in the aisle. If you aren't moving quick enough down the aisle, they'll push you through. They swarm like a pack of wolves to get their samples. But do you notice that the people giving the samples, the people serving you, they go above and beyond. If someone has when you're checking out, if a bagger has to go and get a thing of strawberries because they spilled or whatnot, they're sprinting down there, or they have a system in place. They are a well-run machine, and you can return anything there whenever you want. Amazing, right? They seem like they are a business that takes care of their staff. And their staff, because they're so well treated, takes care of the customer. Right? Are you that type of environment? Or do you have little people that are fighting with each other over little things all day, not communicating, not helping each other out? What kind of environment have you created, and how does that translate to the customer experience? Well, before we get into the 5 things that I believe make an office have amazing customer service, I want to talk about values and I want to talk about beliefs. All right? I don't think you can have a great business, a great customer experience if you don't think about your beliefs and your values. All right? Well, first, let's ask this question. What's the difference between beliefs and values? All right? Think about that. You're driving, working out. Belief. What is that? A belief is a way of thinking. It's what you think at the time, right? Beliefs can change. I hope when you listen to this podcast, you're coming in with a mindset that you have a belief that might be changed. Whenever I read a new book, listen to a new podcast, I'm going in there with the idea that my beliefs might be changed by what I'm taking in. Or I'm going to reinforce my beliefs, right? Values are a step up, right? Over time, I believe that beliefs will become your values. Values are what you do. They're your priorities. Your values between you and your wife are what are going to define your marriage, right? These are the things that we hold high and we're going to put our foundation on. Now, we have beliefs that we're bringing into the marriage, but over time, as we, have the ebb and flow, the talking, the conversations, the life experience with kids, interacting with parents and all this stuff, our beliefs will change, but our values should remain the same. Faith, family, work, whatever your values are, they're your foundation. Now, how you apply them, that might change slightly, have a different flavor, a different 2.0 to it. But your values are your values, right? When you look at your office, you need to know that you have beliefs, but you have to have values to have that foundation. The values of my office: care, quality, timeliness, expertise, and consistency. Those are my 5 pillars of what we do, right? Now, that care changes over time as we get new technology, new equipment. The care will change. Quality is always trying to be improved. Timeliness, I think that's evergreen. You always want to get things to people as soon as you can, as quick as you can, right? Never going to change. Expertise. We'll talk about this as we go down the line, but you need to know your business. You need to know your products and services. You need to be an expert at what you do. And this needs to be your craft, right? And then consistency. Providing the same thing day in, day out. Every person that walks into your office knows the experience that you're going to get. McDonald's, think about franchises, right? You may not like it, you may like it, but you know when you go into a McDonald's what the experience is going to be like. Now, they've evolved over time. They have that self menu thing that you do now. I don't really get fast food, but whenever I go in to get it for my kids, they want a treat, and I want to give them heart unhappy food, we go to McDonald's, right? But I go in there and I know what to expect, okay? You need to have your core values. The rest of what I tell you is really meaningless if you don't know what your foundation is. So know your core. Now, once you have your core values, how do you make them your North Star? How do you make customer service the best it possibly can be? Well, number one, stay true to your values. If you're going to do something, you have to make sure it's in line with what you believe and what you've raised from level of belief to a core foundational value, right? Just, is it in line or is it not? If it isn't, stop it. If it is, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, let's do more. So let's go in and take this. So you know your core. What do you need to do? The 5 steps. This is kind of a process, but you can do these, apply these in any order you want. Number 1, you need to listen, right? The foundation of any good customer experience is the patient or the customer is heard and what they want or what they're aiming to achieve is given to them, right? Well, you can't give someone what they want if you don't know what it is that they need, okay? So whether it's making an appointment or they're coming in and they have a chief complaint, you are communicating with that patient at all times. Listen. I like to ask the patient after I've listened that, now what I'm hearing is you have glasses and they're not working in this environment. Is that correct? Okay, good. All right. Or, okay, so you're coming in. Is there a need that you have? Do you want glasses that you can wear all the time? Do you want glasses just for X, Y, or Z? A lot of times a patient will say, my eyes feel off. Whenever I look outside, it's like hazy. Does that make sense? No, not really. Can you elaborate on the haze a little more? Is it all the time? Just some of the time? And, it comes and goes. I blink my eyes and it gets better. And sometimes it's not there. I notice a lot when I'm on a screen or a computer. Okay, gotcha. I'm following what you're trying to tell me. But you need to listen, right? Whether they're happy, whether they're mad, listen. Don't offer the solution until you've heard what they have to say. Now, again, you might have to direct that conversation because when people don't really know, they just know they have an issue, they're going to give you a bunch of information. Why? Because they're trying to be helpful. But a lot of times, they're giving you stuff you don't need. And you have to pull out the things that matter. Okay, now you mentioned this. Tell me more about that. Don't worry about this right now. We'll get to that in a second. Tell me more about X, Y, or Z. But listen to what's going on. Help me understand what it is that you need. All right, so number 1, listen. Easy to say, very hard to do. We always want to offer the solution. All right, so once you've listened, the next step in amazing customer service is manage the expectations, right? Whether they're making an appointment, whether they're seeing you for the 15th time, you need to let them know what to expect. When you come in, we are doing retinal photos now. There's a copay of X, Y, or Z. Be prepared for that. Your copays are this. You're coming in for a comprehensive eye exam. If you have a medical concern, we will not be addressing that at this visit. If you want the diabetic eye exam, we will be using your medical insurance. I don't care what it is, but you need to set the tone. You need to set the tone for what it is they need to expect. These are the things I want you to bring. These are the things we're going to discuss. Do you have anything that you want to ask the doctor? right? Setting the tone. People are unhappy when expectations are not in line with each other. You can give the greatest explanation of their optic nerve, why their OCT looks the way it does, what you want to do to make them not go blind, to not have their glaucoma affect their vision. Just, top notch, textbook. Even they understand it. But if they just want to get their contacts, who gives a crap about what you just said? Their expectations were contacts. Your expectation was ocular disease. I don't care who, neither of you are going to be happy. You're not happy because they're not getting the importance of glaucoma. They're not happy because they didn't get their contacts. You know that both of you can win if you just set the expectation of what is going on, right? You need to talk to each other. When you go into optical, what are you promising with your glasses? If you have a multifocal patient and they want contacts, are you setting the expectation of what those contacts can and cannot do, right? Don't overpromise and underdeliver, right? Make sure you set the tone, set the bar for something that is achievable and attainable. We all hate the car salesman who promises you the world, gets you to buy the car, and they're nowhere to be found, right? That's not what people want in a great experience. They want to be heard. They want to know what to expect. They want you to follow through and do what you're going to say. We'll get to that later. But manage the expectations, okay? Now, remember, to manage these expectations, you need to know what you offer. You need to know your products, your services. You need to know the insurances. You need to know what their insurances will cover. If they're eligible for an exam, if they're eligible for X, Y, or Z, if you take their insurance, right? All these things seem little, minute, but they mean a whole heck of a lot if that person rearranged their whole schedule to come in for an exam that they're not eligible for, and you didn't tell them until they get to your office. You know how frustrating that is? You move mountains to get to this exam, and then you're not delivering, you're not living up to your end of the bargain. My wife, 4 kids, had a doctor's appointment, and they were like an hour behind schedule. They said, we can reschedule you. And my wife was like, oh, absolutely not. To get 4 kids taken care of and me to be by myself and get to this exam, I don't care if I'm waiting 6 hours. You're seeing me today. Right? And they did. And even though they were behind schedule, the fact that she got seen that day, better outcome. Right? What are your expectations? What are you conveying to the patient about your experience? Right? Set those expectations. We're very upfront about that. And now, how do you get those expectations to the patient, to the customer? You listen, you're managing expectations, communicate. Communicate. Text, email, phone calls, I don't care. Write it in the sky, but make sure you're opening up the lines of communication. Even if they don't respond, you tried, you documented it. They come back and they're like, why didn't you tell me my glasses were here? I have the text message, I have the email, I have the phone calls. We documented it. We tried to communicate with you. We sent you a letter, right? Make sure you're communicating. Now, realize that part of this customer experience is you as a staff are talking to each other. If Mrs. Jones says, hey, I'm coming in on 2 o'clock on Thursday, and Sandy takes the message, doesn't write it down, and then Mrs. Jones gets here on that time, and Sandy's gone or at lunch or sick that day, and the rest of the staff, I don't care how helpful they are, they make Mrs. Jones explain her problem again, the 3rd time probably in this whole experience, and feel like she's not being heard. That's a problem. But if Sandy would have made documentation, would have told the rest of the staff, and even though Sandy's not there, Callie's there to save the day and step in for Sandy, we all win, right? Customer service is a team effort. We listen, we manage expectations, we communicate. We have meetings upon meetings upon meetings to give our patients the best possible experience. Our doctors in our office will look at the schedule, and we will look at the classes that they've had the past year, and we'll review their last exam, make any notes, and then we have a huddle in the morning, a whole office huddle. We go over every patient of the day, hit highs, lows, things we need to watch out for. We do that. It lasts about 5 to 7 minutes. 5 minutes usually, right? Then we break up into our teams. We have our admin team, we have our tech team, we have our optical team. And we have a 1 to 2 minute meeting. 1 minute usually. Any questions about that? What Dr. Lilly said. Do you know what's going on here? I want you doing this workup. She's going to do this. We have this little road bump here. Constantly communicating. Okay? We have weekly one-on-one meetings with our team members. Right? Realize that communication, managing expectations, listening isn't just to the patient, it's to each other. Right? It's a team office effort. By getting everyone on the same page, we all deliver the same experience. The core values of your office are ingrained in each and every one. If you don't have these values, you do not work here, right? You know that you've ingrained these in your staff. They're communicated to everyone. See how that plays both ways? You're communicating to patients what they need to hear, but you're communicating what you value to your team. That's how you give a great experience, because we all are rowing in the same direction. All right? Be proactive. If you see a problem on the horizon, if there's something that could possibly happen, you're coming up with solutions a day or two before that problem happens. Right? You guys are training when you have these meetings how to handle customer issues. This is what you do in this situation. You empower your staff to have ways to fix a problem. Right? Great customer service is solved before the problem even arises. Right? It takes a conscious effort to be good at what you do. All right? That means all the things I talk about, communicating the insurances, communicating the services that you provide, communicating the supplements that you offer to your patients, right? That takes a constant effort of education at all times. For every level of the organization, there's a minimum level of competency that you have if you want to work here, right? Be proactive. Problems are going to happen. It's not the fact that you had a problem, it's how you respond to it that will win over the patient, right? Be proactive and have these situations in place. Have these discussions amongst your staff. If this were to happen, what would you do? That's where those morning huddles make the experience that much better, because your staff is prepared. You are prepared as a doctor. You're nipping these things in the bud before there is an issue. All right? And the last and final thing that I will say that will go further than anything else that I've said in this podcast is do what you say you're going to do. Period. Right? We aren't going to do scleros. Okay. We're not doing those. Period. We're going to have your glasses here by X, Y, or Z. If they're not, we will give you a call. Call them. Right? If they're not here, it's not your fault, and you don't call them, you have failed them. Even though it's not your fault, the lab had the issue or whatnot, you failed to communicate. You said you were going to let me know, you didn't. Right? We're going to give you an eye exam. You'll have a prescription. You'll get your contact lens prescription. Now, we communicated there will be a copay to get that contact lens prescription, but we're going to give you this. You live up to your end of the bargain. They live up to yours. You have a happy, symbiotic relationship. Everyone wins. Do what you say you were going to do, and you'll be better than the majority of businesses out there. How many times have you been told you'll get a call back by the end of the day? The end of the day comes, you don't get that call. Frustrating. right? If we don't find your insurance, we'll let you know. Hey, they didn't call me. Must be good. You get to the office. Boom, right? Not eligible. Annoying. That might be the end of our relationship. I might not come back to you again, right? You don't have to promise them the world. You just have to do what you say you're going to do. What is the minimum level of service that you can provide that will just meet your standards, right? Do that. You set your standards. You know what you believe in. You know who your clientele are. You know your patient base. Serve them well. Okay? For amazing customer service, it's not just how you're interacting with the patient, it's how you're interacting with your staff to educate them, to help them work with the patient. So, recapping, listen, manage expectations, communicate, be proactive in this process, and then do what you say you're going to do. You do that, and you will be rolling in the good times because everyone wants to come to an office that does those things. That's what I have. We'll have more for you next week. Where has the time gone? We are to the closing thought of the episode, and today I will leave you with this. In life, we want answers. We want to avoid the struggle, right? Well, one of the things that I heard that's kind of helped me manage this roller coaster that is entrepreneurship, that is life, whether you're parenting, it's marriage, it's running a business, learning a new specialty. The test comes first, then comes the lesson. All right? So just think about that. We get that backwards a lot. We want the lesson and then be tested on it. Well, in life, a lot of times you get that test and you're going to fail, you're going to do well. You know, a lot of times, more often than not, when you're starting off or you're taking chances, you're going to fail quite a bit. But after you have that failure, if you get over your pride, your ego, you take a step back and you look at things, you get such a better lesson. Something that you will remember and learn from and grow from, right? So when you're going through this thing we call life, just accept that the test comes first, then you get the lesson. So when you fail, when you win, know that that's when the lessons are going to come after. We are wired wrong because we are the consummate student. We would always get our notes, get our lectures, and then we take the test, we'd pass, and we move on. We were very good at that. But when we got out of school and everything was backwards, some of us really struggle with that. When you're starting a business, some of us can be broken by that. We don't get outside our comfort zone. We never try anything new. We want it to be easy. We've got that test first. We learned our lesson, and we'll never do that again. We're just going to stay status quo. It's the people that accept the paradigm and keep moving forward that are the ones we all aspire to be. And that's what I have for you. Dr. Lily out.